Hello, good morning. This is Mecca. This isn't really a script video. I just wanted to talk a bit about CG, anti-CG, my role in it, bigger names, that kind of thing. Just get my perspective out there on it. If you're a fan of my content, mostly I am concerned with comic books, what was known as Comicsgate, that kind of thing. But if you're new, or if you never heard of this stuff before, you might find some interest in it. Otherwise, stick around and see if that's the case or not. But basically, last night, 14th of November, user named Smug Frieza on Kiwi Farms made up a post, and primarily it was concerned with the launch of Lone Star 3. Lone Star 3 is, of course, by Mike S. Miller, somebody who I'm on their channel a lot. I host D&Q for him. On an interim level, of course. Whenever Edwin comes back, obviously I'd just help out where needed. But it's been an honor and very much a fun time to host D&Q and get to see all these wonderful artists. And D&Q has been something that I have watched since the first episode. You could even see my name in the very first episode, super chat or otherwise. I can't remember, but you can definitely. That's how long I've been watching the show. I think I've only missed a handful of episodes, and patriotic episode when I had just started drawing pretty much offered a lot of Mayor McCheese for some reason. That deserves its own episode, but anyway. So mostly just want to talk about my experience with it, my take on Lone Star 3, and crowdfunding in general. Obviously, Ethan's still king of the hill. He's got a lot of success with Cyberfrog, but he's also putting out a lot of stuff with his product. He's used money from the campaign to come up with, the Cyberfrog PVCs and stuff like that. I think Ethan's setting a really good example for other crowdfunders in the CG space. This blacklisted from the universe, blacklisted from the comics universe kind of thing. Give me just a moment. He's taken the money that's coming into CG and he's putting it back into it, which I think is very good. I've had my issues with Ethan before, but I think he's a fantastic artist, and Cyberfrog was really enjoyable. I might have a review of that coming soon. But I think for all of Ethan's faults, and there's a lot of them, I think he's really turned it around, and he's doing mostly good things. There's still some things I'm critical of, and I still think CG as a whole needs to be more critical. They need their own your boy Zach to hold bad campaigns accountable. Campaigns done in bad faith, campaigns done with an intent to make money and not make a good product. Now, at the end of the day, Ethan would argue that he's just here to make money. I agree. But Ethan's also put his faith back into Comicsgate. He's also put his faith into making good things. And I think anyone that puts money into his campaign is getting more than their money's worth, which is something I absolutely believe about Mike, too. Mike's went out and got Kim Jung-gi to do a cover for him. Kelsey Shannon was so excited he just volunteered to do the coloring, and obviously Kelsey's fantastic at everything he does art-wise, so in order for him to get that excited and to do that thing, I think that's the kind of spirit of brotherhood and just professionals helping each other out that I want to see more of in Comicsgate. The whole thing about Hail Comicsgate and all that kind of stuff is cringy to some level, but it's also important in that that's what I want to see more than just backing each other's campaigns. I want to, if it's me throwing my weight around, of which I have very little, I only have 230 subs on this channel, but as somebody who has a voice, one thing I always want to do is have each other onto YouTube shows. If I see a good project, I want to be able to bring them onto my channel, talk to them about it, get them a little exposure, hopefully back it, and then also be able to go to people I know and say, hey, I talked to this guy for like an hour on my channel. He's got this Indiegogo named such. I think you should talk to him and share his stuff with your audience. I think that would be what I want out of Comicsgate more than anything, just helping each other out where we can. It doesn't matter exactly who makes the money or who makes the most. It's that we all found each other in this dying comic book industry, and we say, hey, I'm looking for help. I'm looking to give help. One of the things I proposed long ago is having like a CG Craigslist, having a communal place, maybe a Discord, maybe a subreddit, a website even, just someplace we can all get together and say, hi, my name is this, I'm looking for work, this is what I offer, here's some samples, and things like that. I think that would be more important in Comicsgate than anything else. I mean, obviously there's the culture war, and there's some grandiose elements to that, but at the end of the day, more important than that is just like John Malin said long ago. He said, getting the boat and row. And I thought that was kind of silly, and the grab and oar thing. And I've always been critical of the over dramatic romantic elements of CG, but I think John had it right. Honestly, the comic book industry's dying. The layoffs at DC and Marvel. I mean, DC got rid of Jeff Johns is the last thing I heard. Boat's getting smaller. So there has been issues. I've been very critical of War Campaign, but even War Campaign has come out and said, a lot of them have come to Mike and said, hey, I'm sorry for what happened between us. And I think War Campaign's doing their own thing. They got Vestige 2 coming out, very close to being on time. It's another ambitious project, and had a lot of promise on the first Vestige campaign. I think they're going to do great things on the second one. I think they've been really excellent to their customers. I was one of their customers, and I've never had anything but a good buying experience from them. Now the rainbow dildos and all that stuff, obviously that's changed. I think anybody who looks back at the history of that has every reason to be angry. I'm still angry about it, but I'm also willing to forgive. As long as that kind of behavior is not a part of Comicsgate going forward, and it's a place where people can help each other, I think that's the true value of Comicsgate. I don't think there's any value in pushing interpersonal conflicts, in doing shows about DMs and private messages and he said, she said. I think it all needs to be out in the open. And if there's something to criticize, it needs to be stuff you can find in the open. I've been very critical of Dragoon Knight Aldrake, because I didn't think that book had good enough art to sell. And I believe that, Wenger took advantage of Ethan's platform and just being part of his Joker crew who would go on a live stream and just have yucks together. I don't think there's any value in that. What there is value in Comicsgate is it's not just depending on Ethan. It's that the smaller guys get together. The bigger guys take notice of the smaller guys. We all push each other up. That's what Comicsgate should be. Having fun, Ethan's got his late night Howard Stern style kind of comic show, and that's all fine and good. It's his channel. He's got to do whatever he wants to do on that channel. But, lucky for the rest of Comicsgate that he's also interested in doing comic books, that he's also interested in promoting projects that he finds to be good projects. He's got a large audience. He should throw his weight around like that. I think he's really turned over a new leaf. And again, he's put money into Cyberfrog. That he's got all the money that Comicsgate puts towards him. He's found a way to bring it back to them, and that's something very much worth recognizing. Now for Mike and Lone Star and all this stuff, Mike's also one of those guys. He's a fantastic artist. He's been something of a mentor to me, and he's a Christian first and foremost. Asking him to hail Comicsgate is not the right answer. Supporting him, even if you disagree with his viewpoints, and obviously there was the pride as a sin, that Ethan took issue with, and I can't play matchmaker between the two. I just know that they're both people we need to make good comic books. At the end of the day, you're just picking up a 48-page book and enjoying some art. But greater impact of Comicsgate, the greater importance of such a thing, as flawed as it has always been a platform to help each other, has always been a platform to promote each other, to network, to get that Craigslist going. That's more important than any disagreements we've had. Am I going back to Comicsgate? Am I anti-Comicsgate? Am I my own thing? I think that's we need to move past all of them. The greatest story ever told has always been one of redemption. As a Christian, as somebody who has faith in Christ, that's the best story that's ever been told in humanity. I want to reflect that in my own fiction. I want to reflect that in the way I behave towards people who have wronged me, because there's no better way to live as a Christian than to live as a redeemed one. So that I just wanted to do a video just kind of spitballing my thoughts on this. This isn't scripted out. I might do another take on this, maybe essay style, but for now I wanted to weigh it in my heart and kind of just put it out there, kind of just, I don't know, get some thoughts out. I've been a provocateur. I haven't been the kindest to people. I was something of a consumer advocate as far as stealing solo went. And I think there is roles for stuff like that. We do need to have some kind of quality control. But we also need to have the element of quality control that says, whoa, check this out. Why isn't Kanan White getting more work? Why isn't Kelsey Shannon on every cover he can get. Do you know a letterer? Of course. The staple of Comicsgate, Eric Weathers. That kind of stuff is the true value of Comicsgate. And we don't need to say hail. We don't need to declare allegiance to CG. Just need to help each other. I think that's the best way to live as a Christian. And you know what? It needs to be just this underground network of comic creators that are helping each other. That's the best part of CG, if there is such a thing. So, again, I'm just soapboxing a little bit. If you watched the video, if you had some thoughts on it, I appreciate your watching the video, and would love to hear your thoughts on it, and disagreements too. So much to discuss in this space. The Marvel and DC layoffs, it's like John Malin said, get in the boat and row, I guess, grab an oar, but more importantly, help each other. So this has been Mecca. You're on Jalapeno Milk, and thanks for watching the video.